Hey everyone, welcome to Unique Ways with Thomas Gerard, an audio podcast. Got a really awesome guest today. She is a senior product designer and podcaster, previously designing software for Google Maps, Toyota, Shell Fuel Rewards, Boston Scientific, Albertsons, Steadily, Docusign, and Aura. Please join me in welcoming Tolu Garcia. Welcome.
Hey, Thomas. Thank you guys for having me on the podcast today.
My pleasure. Are you ready for 20 questions?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, here we go. Question one. Tell me a little bit more about yourself. What do you do?
Yeah, so as you said, I'm Tolu Garcia. I'm the founder of UI Narrative, which provides online learning for product design, which is like UI, UX, IXC, and research through the podcast and some online resources. And I'm also a senior product designer with about 8+ years of design experience. And I've worked with various clients ranging from startups to large corporations like Toyota and Google. So I had started out my career in graphic design in 2014, and soonly after that, I transitioned into UX. Yeah, my passion for UX and desire to become better at public speaking led me to start a podcast called UI Narrative, where I talk about all things UX design and research.
Awesome. Just a note for our audience, Tolu and I met when I was a guest on her podcast, UI Narrative, which was a super awesome time. Question two, what's a key piece of knowledge that makes you different?
Yeah, I would say I've more recently realized how much fun working should be since I spend a big chunk of my time working, like everyone does. And yes, there are times when it can feel like boring and a little bit monotonous, but if I'm having trouble having fun while I'm working, then it's a sign to me that it's time to look for something new. And it doesn't even matter like how long I've been with the company. So something that I've learned specifically from artists and musicians is that I shouldn't settle for creating work that doesn't make me feel good. And yes, like money's important because it's like how we survive financially in America, but enjoying what I do is also equally important because it affects my happiness.
That's awesome. I don't know if you're coming from a place of having done a lot of your podcast sessions and learning from your guests. I definitely learned so much from my guests when I reflect on what they said.
Oh yeah, definitely. Every single episode I've learned something new for sure.
Nice. Okay, number three, why this of all things? Why do you do what you do?
Yeah, I just like to be challenged creatively and I love problem solving. I also love the aspect of collaborating with humans just to create something that's, brand new, even if it's an iteration of something. I do product design because it's complex and it's just so satisfying when you can crack the puzzle and when I can convince stakeholders to move forward with my design direction. And even if it's just getting them to agree to sit in on a usability testing. But yeah, I just do product design because it's not easy.
That's cool. Because you're really splitting your time between the podcast and being a product designer, right?
Yes.
Great. Okay, number four, what does your future look like?
Yeah, so something that I've been working on for the past months is becoming a UI artist. And for those that are listening that aren't familiar with what it means, um, it's designed for like fictional user interfaces, FUI, for games, movies, and TV shows. And it's been pretty challenging because unlike product design, there are not really many constraints other than art direction. So in the beginning of this process of like learning, I had to change my perspective with how I come up with concepts, meaning that I had to stop constraining myself to only what's been done before and look to find inspiration in like everyday life, like for instance, the textures of bark on a tree or like gradients in a sunset. But yeah, in the future, I plan on seeing my name, hopefully rolling in credits.
Nice. Number five, we say is unique to this podcast. The question is, let's talk about location. What does the notion of place play into what you do?
Yeah, so I feel like this means more to me than ever before in my life. I recently moved to Denver, Colorado with my husband, and we've decided to be nomads for a couple of years and try out living in some big cities all around. So some ones we might try out are like Seattle, Sacramento, and Brooklyn. But yeah, I feel like ever since I've moved out of Dallas, Texas, um, it's been like a huge creative and mental block has been like lifted from my body because Colorado is just so beautiful. And so even when I'm like having like a more depressed type of day, like the environment here, just being able to like walk outside and look at the mountains and the nature, it heals me pretty much. And I feel a little better and I have more hope and I have more peace. And I just feel like location is everything to me because it inspires me, it motivates me, and in some ways it heals me.
That's awesome. You might consider trying Vancouver, Canada too. Being
Oh, that's
here.
on our list too.
I definitely feel that. Like if I'm having some weird day, I'll feel like going to get a coffee at the neighborhood coffee shop, but actually what it is my body telling me that I just need to go for a walk in the neighborhood and I'll feel better.
Oh yeah. We actually have plans to go to Canada next year to Banff. I think
Okay.
is how you say it.
Yeah,
But we're going for like this hiking trip. So it's like our trial run of like hopefully we can extend it a bit and visit Vancouver too.
you should come to Vancouver. It's amazing here. Okay, number 6. If you had to start from the beginning, what advice would you give your former younger self?
Yeah, I would tell myself to chase my wildest dreams. And don't sell myself short. Don't settle for the first thing. And I mean, money is money. It's hard to say like no to a job because we got bills to pay. But I would tell her, remember that this is temporary and always continue to strive for something better. And I'd also tell her that I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, I'm talented enough to do whatever type of work that I want to do, and just remember to not sell myself short.
Perfect. Number 7, what's your day in life like?
Yeah, so I'm in the midst right now of job hunting, looking for a senior product designer position or like a contractor role. But in the meantime, while I'm looking, I've been continuing some of my coursework for this FUI class that I've been taking by Ash Thorpe, who's this amazing designer who's done work for like Assassin's Creed, Batman, X-Men, etc. And I'm putting together my projects that I finish into a UI artist portfolio. Other than that, I'm playing guitar a lot more now. I'm also painting too sometimes, gouache painting, and just resting, walking, and also to moving my body a lot in Pilates and dance class.
Sweet. Number 8, lifelong learning is a popular topic. How do you stay up to date?
I'd like to go outside and meet new people because I think it's important to talk to people in industries other than your own as well. So sometimes these lessons can translate to like what you're dealing with in life too. But specifically for like product design, I stay up to date with news outlets like The Verge. I really love listening to their podcasts. And I also follow Eli on Twitter. He's pretty funny sometimes. I'm not a huge fan of like design trends just because they fade so quickly. So I don't really pay attention to those as much. I mainly keep up to date with like new operating system releases for like Android's material design system and Apple's human interface like guidelines. And for FUI, which I'm like just diving into as of the late, like I watch a lot of movies and TV shows, and I watch people play games on the Twitch.
Nice. Number 9 is what tools do you use? Are you both digital and analog?
Um, I would say pretty much. I feel like you gotta be if either if on purpose or like by accident to stay relevant. So like for product design, I use Figma mostly, and most companies are starting to switch over to Figma, even if they do like use XD or Sketch or Principal or any other one. Yeah, I use Figma mainly for like interface design and UX collaboration, and also use like Zoom Hangouts for video, or if they have any like specific UX research software that they want to use, I just jump along with it, right? Because most of them these days are pretty easy to just um, get introduced and learn it pretty quickly. There's not much of a learning curve. And for FUI, I'm learning a lot of new software lately. I'm an Illustrator and Photoshop, which I'm familiar with, but Cinema 4D is like completely new territory to me.
We had a great guest on recently, Joel Hladicek, who is what's his job title? VP at EF at an education company, and he pretty much swears by Cinema 4D. You should check out that episode.
Yeah, definitely will.
Number 10, how do you deal with work-life balance?
Yeah, so I actually struggled a lot with this recently, which is why I had to quit my job last year and stop UI narrative, just not work for the rest of the year. And I had to do like a hard reset on what rest actually looks like for me. So when I start working again at a company, hopefully in the next month or so, I will have like cutoff time each day for work. So that way I can mentally decompress and not think about work anymore. And I'll express that to my team that it's like non-negotiable for my mental health because it's just so important to make sure that I'm actually getting rest when I'm resting and not thinking about all the things that I got to do at work.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Like we had a guest on, Roger Vanderheed, who talked about how when he gets to the atelier and opens that door, that's when work starts, and when he closes that door, work ends. And I don't even think he was really prioritizing it as work-life balance, but it's a super interesting kind of old-fashioned way, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think that's very clever to think about it that way because there's always going to be another idea or thing that comes in your head, regardless of how efficient you are at work. So I think it is important to have those set boundaries for yourself.
Great. Okay, halfway, number 11. If you weren't doing what you do now, what would you be doing?
Ooh, I would totally be a musician, just because I love music. And excuse me a second, I need to call. I'm an avid concert goer, and I'm not sure what genre like I would do, but I'd probably do multiple because it's hard to choose. But I would definitely be like a backup guitarist, maybe like for like a lead singer or in a band, and I'd probably like teach some online classes too.
Cool, cool. Number 12, what would you not like to do with your career?
Um, can it be something like outside of design career?
Sure, yeah.
Like specific, okay. I would say first thing that came to mind is like I would not like to be a flight attendant like ever, just
Mm,
because I don't really like flying. Because I get sick sometimes. But I would say like if I were to have like worst job, it would be that, just because I think I would just feel sick like every day.
mm. Right. Number 13, what's your favorite word, quote, or sentence?
Oh, there's this quote by Julian Sharpio, and he says, "Success isn't an end state. Success is having the freedom to pursue the continual grind you enjoy the most." And I feel like that is like completely sums up the life I'm trying to live right now.
How about a least favorite word, quote, or sentence?
mm, I don't like I can't. Um, and it's something that I'm learning to like rephrase into like, yes, maybe I can't do this, but like it's okay, because I'm always trying to achieve um, the best for myself, even if it's something that like I don't necessarily need to be as like competitive of like, oh, like I don't know how to do this. I need to like learn up on it. But I would say I can't is like kind of my least favorite word.
Nice. 15, if you had to pick one word to describe yourself, what would it be?
It'd be resilient. It's because I've been through so much in the past year and I'm still here.
16, what keeps you up at night?
Ooh, my dreams of what I want to achieve in life, just because I want to experience so much. I want to travel to so many places on this earth, and try all these new foods that I don't even know exist, and be a part of different cultures and learning about these cultures. But yeah, I just want to travel more.
That makes sense. When I was researching you, I was searching for you on YouTube and found your hiking video
Oh
in
yeah,
the desert. That was absolutely fantastic.
thank you. Yeah, definitely a passion of mine too. Um, I'm multi-passionate if you can't tell, but I love hiking, and that's part of the reason like why I moved out to Colorado is to have all these mountains to hike on.
Sweet. Final stretch, number 17. What's a dream you're chasing?
Yeah, so my dream, like I said earlier, is to be an FUI artist, creating the FUI for TV shows, games, or movies. I just want my name in those rolling credits and to be a part of a big production team.
And 18, what inspires you?
Nature inspires me, I feel like the most. Whenever I'm in a creative block, going out into nature and also to going to an exhibition at a museum always inspires me every single time. And just seeing people succeed and things that they have been working towards also inspires me. Like, if they can do it, I can do it too, type of mindset.
Cool. Any advice you'd like to share?
Um, I would say to everyone listening, rest is important than most things in life. So, um, I want you to ask yourself, like, when's the last time you took a moment to pause and check in with yourself to see like how you really feel, um, and do you need more rest?
That's a great one. After having so many guests on and hearing about meditation, I started meditating for 10 minutes in the morning right when I wake up. And
Mm,
wow, it really, the whole day is much more calm. It's very different.
yes. You feel less anxiety, less urgency to get things done. It's like when you just let go of that control, I feel like you are in control. Pretty much is what I feel.
Very cool. And number 20, how can our listeners keep tabs on you? How would you like us to have a call to action?
Yeah, I would say Instagram and LinkedIn at UI Narrative. Check me out there. You can also email me at hello@uinarrative.com. And also check out my podcast, UI Narrative, which is available on every podcast platform. And new episodes are coming out starting in January 2023.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tolu. When I was on United Narrative, your podcast, I think afterwards that was a real turning point for me, and I realized that I could start a podcast myself. I think yours
Wow.
was the one that really made the switch for me. So I have so much gratitude for that.
Wow, thank you so much, Thomas. I'm really touched by that. And I'm glad that you see how impactful and important your voice is and the message that you have, for the world. And I'm sure a lot of people listening will be inspired by all these guests that you bring on. I'm definitely going to go and check out that episode that you recommended. And thanks again for having me on the show.
Thanks so much.